Government has spent 200 billion rand over the past 20 years on bailing out struggling SOEs, but the need for government assistance just won't go away, despite warnings by National Treasury that the country is on the verge of a debt crisis, with government debt currently standing at 87% of GDP. There remains a long list of state-owned enterprises that are in dire need of government funding. With thousands of jobs on the line, trade unions say government must provide the funding.
It will hopefully find resources to save SABC, SAA, Denial, Petro SA, and make sure that it saves thousands and thousands of jobs, because government must clean its own mess. It is the government that created the havoc at ESCOM and everywhere else. Government must clean the mess. There are resources, we believe, and in the economy, we are a very rich country when you look at our levels of resources. Government must find political will to fund SAA and to stop bleeding at SABC, Dinel and everywhere else.
But economists say chances of Mboweni announcing new bailouts for SOEs are slim.
I do not believe that we'll necessarily see extra funding incorporated into the mini-budget itself. And this is because in his speech last week outlining the recovery path, President Ramaphosa himself spoke about the government intending to obtain strategic equity partners to help fund SOEs and, if necessary, even to list some of these SOEs on the stock exchange. That would be an extremely welcome move, and it would defray the need of the government itself to actually step in to fund SOEs.
It's widely expected that Mboweni will allocate the 10.5 billion rand needed to fund SAA's turnaround strategy, following Cabinet's decision recently supporting the move. But Jamin says even that is not a given.
I don't believe that the 10.5 billion rand that is due to help bail out SAA will necessarily be incorporated into next week's speech, because the government is already in discussions to obtain an outside shareholder in the venture. And in an interview made by Pravin Gordhan a couple of days ago, he hinted that basically by the early next year they should have some private shareholder.
But there may be hope for the public broadcaster.
The SABC and Denel are slightly smaller amounts that would be required, and it's possible that the government might step in those areas to supply immediate assistance. But even there, I think there is a possibility, especially in Denel's case, that the government will seek an outside shareholder.
A bailout for the SABC could help avert looming retrenchments of hundreds of employees. Mboweni, SABC News, Johannesburg.